Hi, my name is Bevan, and I thought this might be helpful. Little taping demonstration for crack climbing. I've done it for a decade and have a way that I like to tape my hands that works really well. And for me, the most recent change in my method is to add this piece right here in the gap between the thumb and the other fingers. And then I add a piece right along the top of the thumb from the midpoint of it down to the wrist bone. And it'll look like that. Make sure you pat this stuff down really well. If it's a hot, sweaty day, using that benzoin tincture spray really helps. If you have Kendall tape, sometimes you don't need it. Then the next strip goes from the top knuckle down just barely over the wrist, and you just do an array of strips that overlap each other a little bit all the way across the back of the hand. That sort of come down to a point over the wrist, which is nice because it makes it a little thicker when you're hanging on those bones. So, if you got a nice fist crack, you might want to add an extra strip to cover this side of the hand. Right now I've got 3 strips over the back of my hand, that original piece in between the thumb and the other fingers, and then the piece that covers the thumb. And then I'll rip a piece in half, wrap the end of that thumb piece, save the other one for the other hand. And then this is a critical part. Let's see, how do I get this so you can see it? I lay the end of the tape just there in between my thumb and the meat of my hand there, squeeze it, wrap it around the back of my knuckles so that the front edge of that tape is just over the bulge of the knuckles. Bring it around, open your hand up as wide as it'll get, come over diagonally. Let's see. There, that's good, right? Yeah. And around the base of the wrist. At this point, you have to make sure that you don't pull too tightly, because then you won't be able to flex your wrist the way you need to. So make sure you can flex it here. If it's too tight, you can unwrap it, half a wrap, let it looser. After you got 1 full wrap around the wrist, so it's actually almost 2 wraps around the wrist. It would be like, come around the diagonal, around once, the next time up, and it crosses diagonal in the other way, so you end up with a nice cross. See that? And that comes down around the palm, and then depending on what kind of route you're doing now, I like to seal that off one more time, and then rip it so that the end fits right on the palm. And then you have the end, the final wrap. And you have a nice tight fitting crack glove that doesn't have the thingies here, the strap. With this method, I don't find that this part ever really rolls down or anything. It's really nice.